Hi. For those of you who participated with me when I did the workshops for each type, I hope that those workshops helped you in your own experiment, because that's all I care about. For me, early on, the only thing I ever wanted to do was to support people so that they could live who they are. Yes, I taught some classes. I taught Living Your Design, Rave ABCs, Rave Cartography. I trained Living Your Design guides. Um, but the real heart of my work in human design has been about you living you. And these workshops that I'm going to do um, in the end of July and into August are really taking the strategy of type deeper. And this is in the what I call the transformation series. I've done it once before in English, many years ago. I haven't done it since. I'm looking forward to revisiting this information from where we are now, because where we are now is very different than where we were 4 years ago. I mean, for me, these workshops are to prepare people to survive, not survive physically, but to survive mentally and emotionally and spiritually as we move towards 2027. The work I do is very simple, but I've seen how deep it goes. These workshops came out of all my immersion work. For those of you who have been to the immersions I did in Taiwan, you'll know I talked about waiting and I talked about the mind many, many times. But I never had a chance to really go deeply into that in one go. It was mostly in relationship to a person. So these workshops are about waiting and about the mind and about the not self and the conditioning that we were born into in a deeper way. Because I really feel that these can be tremendous tools of value for you as we move closer and closer to 2027. Everything's shifting already. It's not like it's not already here and it's not already happening, huh? But anything that I can do to help people prepare themselves. And the only way that we can prepare ourselves is to live who we are. But we've lived who we aren't, the not self, for so long that we think that's who we are. And that is not going to help you at all to continue living what you've lived all this life. It just won't. You already know it. So these workshops, in a way, I'm not young anymore. Young inside, yes. Inside my spirit is ageless, huh? It's forever young. But the body is getting older. I don't know how many more years I have on this planet. And for me, the work that I've done in human design, the simple work that I've done in human design, um, looking at each type and the auras and the interaction between types and the strategy and And these workshops are in a way my legacy. If I can leave anything behind that can help humans, it would be this, because we're really going through intense changes, and it's not going to stop with the COVID-19 when that ends. It's not going to end there. There's no going back to normal. There is no normal. And I know many of you live in Taiwan, so you've been lucky. The rest of the world, no, it's quite different out here. And you know, many of you also were in my talk on 2027, huh? So you had an idea of what we've lived for these 400 years and what we're going to live for the next 400 years. Maybe not us, but our children and great grandchildren and great grandchildren. So these workshops are really a sinking in deeply into an awareness that you may not have had the experience of before. Because without being aware of what the mind talks about that we believe to be true, and without being aware of really waiting, because all types have to wait, strategy alone isn't enough. The mind is too active, and the body just wants to go out and do, huh? Keep going the way it did before. So this is, in a sense, these workshops are a support for your strategy, a deep and important support. And I found this all out in my immersion work, because I lived this myself, but I really didn't understand how much I had how much wisdom was inside of me about these aspects of the experiment, until I started to do the immersion work, and what was coming out of my mouth was like, whoa, I really knew a lot inside about all of this, and how helpful it seemed to be for people. So that was why that I did this transformation series online years ago, and it's even more important now. That's what I feel, because with this the shifting that's happening already, it's not going to happen in 2027. It's happening now. These next 7 years, it's going to show itself more and more and more, huh? So I hope that you'll join me and be part of this journey and deeply into the simple that can be a tool for your survival over these next 7 years. Because it's one person at a time. It's not a group. It's you. It's me. That's why I called my story a revolution of one. There's no mass revolution. There's no group revolution. It's a revolution of one person at a time. And it has nothing to do with authority, outer authority. It has to do with living you. And it's a revolution against the conditioning, not people, the conditioning. So, well, I look forward to being with you. And Yeah, take care and see you soon, huh? Bye.